Hello, Coloritaville. I am going through the rest of my haul, and today we're going to take a look at some brush pens, some brush pen and marker, some gel pens, some metallic brush pens, and regular large size markers. So we're going to go through this. This is the rest of what I bought with the colored pencils in the video previous to this one. And we're going to take a look at some of these things, and I'm going to actually use that cute little book that I got in those colored pencils from yesterday. And I'm going to actually swatch some of these out. So just give me a second here. I should have done this beforehand, but of course I'm always thinking as I go. There we go. Because they had really cute little swatch things in the front of this little coloring book that I got in my Shuttle Art pencils. I'm pretty sure I went through the book with you yesterday, but you know, it's got a coloring test page, you know, a couple of those. We got 2 of them. So we'll test out, you know, the smaller markers and maybe the gel pens on them. Really cute little pictures. And unfortunately, the pictures are on both sides of the page, as I said yesterday, but there are some really pretty, adorable pictures in here. Okay, so we're going to go through and do the test pages. Now, hopefully you can see these. This is the Zebra metallic brush markers. It's a 7 count. It has silver, gold, bronze, blue, red, green, and purple. And we're going to test those out on the page here and see how they do. I've taken a look at them and I've played with them just a little bit, but didn't go through them all. And I probably should have, but that's what we're here for, right? To check these things out together. So they are a nice size pen. They're not too small. They fit in the hand quite nicely. And we've got silver. Let's see if they have any information on the pen. Of course, my eyesight's really bad, so I probably can't even see it. Let's see if I can see it on there. No. It's got some information here. I'm not exactly sure what that information is. It does have the brush pen showing that it has a brush nib and then a little Asian wording down here, which I obviously can't read. The lids are on really tight. And this is silver. They go on nice and smooth. That's pretty good. All right, so that's our silver. These will work or be very nice for mandalas and doing accents and that sort of thing. The nib is a soft nib. It's not a paintbrush soft. It's more of a makeup brush soft. So you get the ability to use it as a brush, but also the ability to use it with fine lines as well. See, it makes a nice little fine line as well. And that's the gold. And now we've got the bronze. I'm doing this fairly quickly, and my OCD is going to jump in and say, that's not colored all the way. I have to remember that these are a water-based paint, or a water-based ink, so it doesn't work the same way as alcohol-based inks. So trying to eliminate lines by keeping it wet is a little bit different with water-based paints, or pens, I should say. That's a pretty blue. Oh, I like that. That is a really pretty blue. That is going to work so well for things like peacocks, and very nice. And now we've got green. This was the bronze. This is our green. And I'll tip it a bit and see if we can see the metallic in it. Looks like it's got a bit of a gold metallic to it. So it's very pretty. Okay, now purple. And this looks like it's got a bit of a silver metallic to it, so that's kind of cool. Okay, and last but not least, red. And of course, one of the things that I do find with all markers is that you don't see the true color until it's completely dry. So we'll give it a few seconds here for let these dry. Now this is stepping completely out of my comfort zone because I don't use water-based pens. When I use pens at all, it's usually the alcohol-based pens. So water-based pens are completely out of my comfort zone. But I wanted to try these metallic ones. And they do have a nice metallic shine. I don't know if you can see that. This one looks a little flat, but when you get up to it, it has a nice gold hue to it. But all of them have a good shine. If you can see it. I can't tell if you can see it. I can see it. Okay, so that's our metallics, and these are the Zebra acid-free, water-resistant metallic brush pens. And on the back here, it tells you the metallic ink shine on light or dark surfaces. That is a water-based pigment. It's acid-free, odorless, and there is no odor with this, which is really good. Very nice set of 7. I do believe it comes in 7 and 21 or 12 or something. I didn't buy the really big set because I really didn't need all those colors, and I wanted to test them first to see if I would even like them. I don't like buying things and then finding out that I don't like them and they sit in the cupboard and waste away. And I don't like wasting things. And I do end up doing that sometimes. But most of the time I end up either using it or learning how to use it and enjoying them. And as long as you enjoy your products, then I guess it's not a waste, right? At some point, I'll learn how to use the water-based paint pens as well. But right now, I'll stick to learning the water-based markers first. So this is a dual brush pen by Tombow. This is the pastel palette. They have a fine tip as well as a brush nib, and it's a really pretty set. It also has a water colorless blender. So it says that it's blendable. So it's got the blender tip here. It's got a brush tip there and the nib there. The nib is quite a good size. It's not tiny, but it's not huge either. So it definitely will work with those smaller areas. And the brush is a nice brush. Not too soft, but not too stiff. Doesn't smell. And I do believe it already has the ink in it to blend with. Now in this set, I have colors of pastel. So it's like light pinks, light yellows, blues, greens, and purples. So it's more of a macaron type of coloring. And I wanted that because every once in a while I color very, very dainty things. And I was hoping and really wanted to have a very pale pastel-y color. So this is the Tombos. This is a yellow. It doesn't say the name on the pen of the color. It's made in Vietnam. It does have the color number. And I got a couple of these in an art, what are they called? Subscription box. I'm actually going to grab those if I can. No, I can't there. And I do believe there are these two colors here, the two blues that I got in the subscription box, or they're a turquoise, one or the other, and they were really nice. So I've actually got, you know, a few of these. This is an 8 set, I do believe. No, it's a 10 set. So it's got 9 colored pens and a colorless blender. So this is the light yellow, which is number 62. And that is the brush nib. And this is, I don't know if you can see that, the bullet. So it's got a nice small bullet there. And it's very, very pale yellow. This one here is a brighter yellow, maybe even close to an orange. Yeah, it's a light orange, which is nice. The nibs on these are a little bit stiffer than on the zebras, on the metallic pens. So I've made a mess of this. Let's see how well that blending pen does with it. I'll let it dry first, I think. I'm not sure if you're supposed to let that dry or not. Let's check it out. Oh, it blends it out pretty good. The only thing that I find with water-based pens is if you try to do too much, it tends to eat the page. All right, now we're going to do a pale pink. And this looks like a really bright pink. This is number 761. But it goes down very pale, very cool. It looks so bright on the nib. And I am probably using these all wrong, and all you wonderful people out there that know how to use water-based markers will be happy to help me out with that. But that is a very pretty pale pink. It's not too pale, but it's not really bright either. Like I said, these little nibs are very good for tight little spaces. And then we've got another pink here. This is 723. We'll see how it goes down. Yeah, and this is a little bit brighter. And these nibs are quite a bit stiffer, so I'm going to have to definitely work with them a little bit to soften them up. That's the one thing that I found with like my Faber-Castell brush pens is once I worked with them for a little bit, they weren't as stiff and hard to use, which was really kind of cool. And oh, I didn't do the nibby. And now we have a very pale purple. It's almost a lavender. Very nice color. The pigment on here is pretty good. Of course, you want to try to do it as quickly as possible so you don't get a whole bunch of lines through it, but I always do with water-based markers. It's one of the reasons why I don't like them very much is I find I get choppiness on them, and when I found alcohol markers, I was able to actually color and not get a whole bunch of choppy lines on it. It was like so cool because this is what I started out with was the water-based ones. But for small things like mandalas and things like that, I would not do a background with these, but definitely for small areas where you're not having to worry about it being dry really fast. So that's more of a blue purple. Still a very pretty color. Okay, now we're going to do the light blue. Actually, we'll do the dark blue. Another great color. This is such a pretty color. There we go. Such a nice bright blue. And oh, I keep on forgetting about that little nib on the end. And then we have light blue. And it is definitely a pale blue. Also a really pretty color, especially for things like the macarons and stuff like that. Now above this blue, I'm actually going to do the green so that we have an even number here. And then I will label them all so that I know what's what. Otherwise I will forget and go, okay, what was that one? The metallics are pretty easy, but the next one we're going to do is another water-based marker. So I don't want to not know which ones are which, so I don't end up with colors all over the place. So those are our Tombow dual brush pens. This is a fine tip on one side and a brush tip on the other. They are water-based and are blendable. It does come with its own blender pen, which is fantastic. The colors are very true to their caps. So, you know, what color is on the cap is very close to the color that is in the ink. So that is also very nice. So I'm going to stick those in here because I don't want to muck around with the package right now. And the next one we're going to look at are a 15 count of midliner brush pens. Now I did buy this soft mild colors. Like I said, I have a tendency to go with really soft colors when I color things like flowers and mandalas and cakes and stuff like that. So, and I don't have a lot of really pastel-y colors, especially in pens, other than, you know, the gel pens. So this has 15 colors. It goes brown, gray, pink, purpley pink, purple, a purpley blue, teal, light blue, looks like a seafoam green, green, yellow, orange, a lighter orange, and then 2 different reds. This may even be a red orange. These are brush pens. They do have a brush nib. So we're just going to start with this one. So it has a brush nib on this side, as you can see through the see-through cap there. And on this side where you can't see, it has a nice little bullet nib, and it's a nice small nib, which is really cool. Now, you never need to worry about losing your lids because it does stick right on the end of that lid, which is really cool as well. Just trying to see. Unfortunately, all of the writing on all of these things is really small, and I cannot read it. So I'm going to actually see if they have a color chart on here, which they do not. The package itself, as you can see, has this little thing here, and they say that you should be able to use it as an easel, but I can't get it to go. I can't get it to go easel-like. See, they show you there. Oh, okay, so this piece here pops out. There we go. So that piece pops out. This piece locks in to this piece. See it there? There you go. That's a good view of it. And then it stands up. That's really kind of cool. Nifty. All right, so we're going to start with this one, which I think is red. It has a nice line on it, so if your cap is off, you can still see what color it is. And that line is where your fine nib starts. So you put the right side on the right side of the cap on there. It's a nice color. And of course, this does, you know, there are other colors, plenty of other colors. I just chose the soft colors because, like I said, I don't have enough of those. And that's the fine nib. All right, let's see how well this works. That actually works really nice to keep that all in place. Now this looks like an orangey red, so we'll have to see. And these are a zebra product. And we will thank our marker princess for enabling me on these. I wanted to be able to color along with her, on some of her streams as well. And I know that she's going to be putting out a few videos using these types of markers and water-based pens. Hopefully she knows how to use them a little bit better than I do, and I'll be able to learn. So that is an orange. It looks like a ready orange on the paper. And there's a little fine line. Okay, and this one here is a peachy color, almost a skin tony color. So we'll see how well it does. Oh, it's a little bit bright for skin tone. It's almost a fluorescent. That's really cool. Yeah, that's almost a fluorescent orange color. That's very nice. It looks like a pale, pale orange to you guys, but to me it's almost a fluorescent orange. All right. Now this one is a darker yellow. And I think the next one is going to be actually a fluorescent yellow, so it looks more of a fluorescent-y color on the lid. So it's amazing how the camera changes the color of things to what they think it should be. And this is almost a tan color. It'd work really well for a brown, for a light brown or sand. It would work awesome for sand. Oh, and I didn't do the nib. Silly me. Can you tell I'm not used to using markers at all? Now, one of the things we're going to do is we're also going to go through this package of actual markers that I picked up. And like I said, this yellow is definitely more of a fluorescent yellow, but it's very pale. It's very nice. We're going to take a look at them, and at the end of this video, I'm going to give you some information and some instructions, and maybe somebody will have them sent to them and win them in a drawing. So this one is a green, and it definitely looks like a green, not a fluorescent green on the cap, and it is a very nice green. It's not a bright green, it's a nice, almost a moss green. And like I said, I'm probably not working these pens correctly because I don't know how to use them very well. So I'm really hoping that when Donna does her videos on these types of pens, that she'll be able to teach me a little bit on how to use them properly. Now this one is looks like a tealy blue, in between a blue and a green. It looks like a really pretty color when you look at the cap and the nib. Oh yeah, that's pretty. Just trying not to color the paper off. Now we've put on a couple of different ones here, and none of them have gone through the page. So that's good. That is the one thing I do really like about most water-based markers, is it doesn't bleed. And I forgot to do the nib again. These nibs are very nice. They're a very stiff little nib and have a very fine point. So if you like really fine pointed nibs, it's not like a complete fine liner. It's a step above a fine liner, but it's still really nice. And now this one is blue. And it's definitely a blue looking color. It may be a very pastel blue like the one in the Tombos. I think it's a little bit brighter than the one in the Tombos by the looks of it. It's funny that they ended up being at the same level, same spot. One step down. Just my OCD kicked in and I saw lines and thought I need to take the lines out. Now we'll let that dry before we compare them, because like I said, in order to see the true color of things, you have to let it dry. So, and this one is a darker blue. And I do apologize for that ding. Seems somebody has decided that they needed to message me. And normally I turn my phone volume off and I completely forgot. Hey, at least I remembered to turn the TV off this time. So this is a nice sea foamy dark green blue color. It's a very nice dark color. Goes well with the light ones. And then we have a purpley blue color. And I forgot to do the line again. It almost looks like a periwinkle type of blue for this one. And like I said, the nibs on these seem to be a little bit more flexible than the nibs on the Tombos. And it's definitely a periwinkle type of blue purple color. And now we're going to get into the purple. This one here looks like it's going to be a lavendery color. And it's a little bit brighter than the Tombos. So I think these two sets will work really well together. There's not a lot of the same colors, but there's definitely similarities to them. That's a nice purple. And then we'll remember to do the nib this time. Haha! I've only got 4 more to go, and of course, I suddenly start remembering the nib, 11 into it. Now this is going to be a purpley pink color. Probably more into the pink, but we will see. It looks purple on the nib. Yeah, there we go. It's definitely a purple, a magenta type color. Definitely more magenta than purple. That's a very nice color too. Okay. And this one is definitely pink. It looks like it might be a fluorescent pink. Yep. It's a very, very bright pink. Almost a highlighter pink color. It's very nice. All right. And we're gonna remember to do the nib. I remembered this time. Now this is a gray-green color on the lid. It looks gray to you guys, but it looks like it has a bit of a green hint to it on the lid, so I don't know if it's going to be a gray-gray or if it's going to be a gray-green. And it looks like it's a bit of a gray-green color, which is fine too. I use this color a lot when I'm coloring trees and, woods that may have a bit of mold on them or moss growing on them. And then we have brown. And this is definitely brown. I don't know how dark of a brown. And of course, I forgot the nib. Isn't that nice of me? Okay. It's a nice brown. It's not a overly dark brown, like it doesn't look like a black brown, but it's not a really, really light brown either. Like we've got the sand color here, so this would actually work really well with that one. Just going to put a second coat on here. Even out some of those lines maybe. There we go. So it's a nice chocolatey kind of brown. And then we'll do the nib. And that is it for all 15 of the midliner brush pens. And like I said, it does actually work, and it works quite well for an easel and being able to take the pens in and out. That's really kind of cool. I like that. That just means that I don't have to actually take all of them out of this. Like with the Tombos, I actually have to take them out of this and put them in a different holder, because this is not going to hold up at all. Where this looks like it'll hold up pretty good for a little while anyway, and it holds the pens quite nicely. So let's see if I can take it apart without ruining it. There we go. And that just folds back up into the back here. So see, there's the little spot there in the back where that goes. And then this just folds up in here a little bit. And there's a little slat right here. See if you can see that, where my thumb is. There's a little slat that this just folds into. If I can get it to go. And we're all closed back up. It doesn't damage the package, and it holds everything all in place, and you can make it into an easel, which is really kind of cool. Okay, so we've tested 3 different types of brush pens. They all seem to have the same qualities. The pigments are quite nice, really bright colors. It doesn't seem I have any duplicated colors in these 2 sets here, so I'll be able to use them together quite nicely. Now, the next thing that I purchased, I'm actually going to grab a regular pen, if I can move my chair enough to reach into my cauldron that I have my pen in. And I actually do have it in a cauldron. I keep this on my desk. I usually keep candy in it, and then I ate all my candy and started throwing pens in there. So this is Zebra Metallic. This is Tombow, and this is Zebra brush. Okay. Just so you guys know which ones are which there. Now, another thing that I found on Deal of the Day, and I really got to stop looking at Deal of the Day because I'm buying things that I don't really need, but want more than anything else. This is a lovely set of gel pens done by Cali Art. It has a really good range of colors. There's regular colors, there's metallics, and then there's the sparkles. So it has a good range of regular colors. So from here to the black here on the end, let's see if I can get that into view here for you, are all just regular colors from what I can see. And then this one here is a metallic, and these ones here up until about, no, these ones here all look like they're sparkles. So it looks, we'll have to go along and see because there is no color chart or anything on these. I would expect this goldy one here to be a metallic, and this purple one and green one and silver one, these four here and this red one all may be metallics. So we will have to test them out and see. So how many? We need 32. So I think we have just enough. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 16. So we have enough on this page to test all of these as well. So that's awesome. Okay, so the first one we're going to test is the black. And we're just going to do Cali gel. This is the black in the Cali gel. It's got a very fine tip. I didn't have to bang on it, scribble with it, or anything. This is the first time I've ever used this pen, and it just flowed. The flow is very nice. So I'm just going to do half of this with a full fill, and then I'll do a hatch area, just so you can see the line structure. So it's a very thin flow, until you hit it a little bit stronger. So it looks and it feels like it depends upon how hard you press on the pen, on how much actually comes out of the pen. Nice color, very dark black. It's not a brownie black or anything like that. It's a definite black color. Now this one is a red. There are no names or numbers on any of these pens, so you just have to either keep them in the order that you swatch in, or if you don't swatch, just keep them in the order that you know that they're in the package, or put them in whatever order you want them in. I can never tell just by looking at a pen or marker what color is going to come out of it. So same with the pencils. So I always swatch things. I may not always keep the swatches where I should keep them, but I always swatch things. And again, this pen has never been used before, and as soon as I put it to paper, it flowed beautifully. A nice thin line. And if you press down a little bit harder, you get a thicker line. A nice bright red color. Now we're going to finish swatching these up. I know this video is starting to get long, but I wanted to, ooh, this is a nice fluorescent-y color. Nice fluorescent orange color. And again, it just flowed right out of the pen. Very nice. You can't see the fluorescent of that on the page, but it is more of a fluorescent-y red-orange color. And then we've got this one, which looks like it's going to be a fluorescent pink color. This one feels a little bit scratchy, but once it gets going, it's all right. Now that's the only one I've actually felt a little bit of hesitation in the flow when I first started coloring with it. And some of my gel pens, like some of the ones I have, I've got to scribble with them for a little while first and get that ink flowing. And these ones don't seem to require that. Now that is a very bright pink. I don't know why this color is off so much. Let's see if I can give it a bit of a change in the color, give you a better view of the color. Oh. Just going to come in a little bit closer there. Oh, now you can't see it at all. Isn't that nice of me? Sorry about this. I'm just trying to get it so that it shows you how bright those colors are. And it just doesn't seem to want to do that for me. Nope, nope, that is not going to do it. I'm going to show you how bright the white is. Okay, so that's as close as we're going to get, I think. Now this color and this color are both the fluorescent orange and fluorescent pink. I'm quite sure you're familiar with those colors. And this one looks like another fluorescent-y orangey color. I'm going to see if maybe turning this lamp on will help. Nope, doesn't seem to help. This one is a little bit drier, but it's not too bad once you get it going. It seems these fluorescent colors need a bit of a kick to get them going. Like the black and the red were no problem at all. They flowed instantly. And these fluorescent colors, it's probably something to do with the fluorescent. There's a powder, a mica powder that they put in a fluorescent coloring. It's very, very fine, but it can cause flow issues in pens. Now this is another orange, and hopefully it's a lighter orange. It is a lighter orange, but it's still in the fluorescent range. And again, it has a startup issue. You still get ink out of it right away, but its flow is definitely not as good as the red and the black. But, you know, it's actually flowing better than some of the ones I've ever used. So that's still a good thing. And once you get them going, as you probably already know with most gel pens, is once you get them going, the flow on them is pretty good. This is a yellow, And it's not quite a fluorescent yellow. It's a nice bright yellow though. And the flow on this one is pretty good. Okay. Trying not to do this too long. And this one here is going to be a really fluorescent yellow. And I can already feel the bit of a scratch in it. But its flow is pretty good once you get it going, and it doesn't take anything to get it going. Now I'm trying to rush, so. And this is a green. Yeah, most of these non-metallic, non-sparkle colors seem to be a nice, bright arrangement of colors. It's a nice, light, grassy color green. And this is a darker green. Again, just a little bit to get it going. But once it gets going, it's fine. And all you gel pen aficionados out there, if you got any tips on how to fill that in more effectively, don't hesitate to give me a heads up, because again, these are things that I don't use a lot of. I definitely don't color whole pictures with them. I have done an entire mandala with them, but that's really messy. But this nice magenta color, and this one is white. See, it shows up quite nicely white on the magenta. And it doesn't seem to have any flow issues, which is good, especially for a white pen. We'll see if it absorbs that color, because sometimes your white pens will show up white, and after a little bit, it'll absorb the color of whatever you put it over when you're doing highlights and whatnot. I find that some of the cheaper ones do that. And this is a beautiful pastel pink. And the flow was really nice, so it just seems the mica powder in the fluorescence makes it a little bit scratchy. So now we're into some pastel-y colors. So it seems to have some nice fluorescence, some base colors, and some pastel colors. This is a nice little pastel green, almost a seafoam green. And I have learned from different pencil sets that means different things to different companies. Something I would call a seafoam green, they call blue. So And it does look like a very pale blue on the screen there. I don't know why. This is a blue. Looks like a pastel-y blue. Get it going there. And once you get it going, it goes pretty good. Not a scratch in it. Another thing that I notice about these pens while I'm using them here is I don't have to tighten them. Sometimes I buy gel pens and I have to go through and I have to screw them down and tighten them up, which is, I don't know why that is. I don't know what could have made them come loose, or if they just weren't tightened in the factory or what. All right. Now we probably won't get too much further into these. I will pull one of the sparkle ones and one of the metallic ones and do those. See, this one here is loose. I said that, and of course I had to find the loose one. So if your pens are wiggly in their barrel, just tighten them up. But these Cali Art gel pens, I really like their markers. So when their gel pens came up on sale for really cheap, I thought, why not? And my husband has this tendency to send me different things on sale. I'm not sure if it's a hint that I need to spend more money or get more things with spending less money. I'm just not sure. Now, this is a red metallic, definitely a metallic color. And it has a, on the page, it has a gold hue to it. So the metallic that they used in the red is gold. So yes, this red, and more than likely this one here, this will be gold. Just gotta get it going. Yeah, definitely a gold. It's a nice gold too. It's not a, you know how some golds are really green or some golds are really, really brown, almost look brass instead of gold. And this is a nice yellow gold, which is really cool because I don't have enough of those. It's hard to find a really nice yellow gold. I don't know why it is. It just seems to be. I've got hundreds of gel pens and have a hard time finding a nice yellow gold. And then I find a nice yellow gold and then I use it all up. I've got to find somewhere where that sells gel pens individually. I think Michael's does, but I'm not positive on that. And this is a really nice metallic blue-purple color. And it has a silver metallic hint to it. And then we've got the green. Now all of them have this little rubber neck on it for grip so that you can hold on to it better. I like that. So you're not getting the colorer's nub on your finger as much. And everybody knows what that is. It's that little bump that you get on your finger from pressing your pencils and pens too hard into your hand. When you're trying to get just the right color or you've colored too long. So this is a metallic green. And it has a silvery metallic to it. This one is the only one that seemed to go a little bit streaky. I don't know if it's just the way I was coloring with it. And now we've got silver. We're almost done, guys, almost. Just got the sparkles left to do, and I don't want to, stop before this sparkles. I know this video is awfully long, but there is a wonderful surprise at the end of it. And I will, as soon as we get the sparkles done, tell you all about it. Now, I know swatching videos are boring, and I try to make them as quick as possible, but sometimes you just gotta watch to the end. That is a really nice silver. It's more of an antique-y silver. It's not a gray silver. So it's got a little bit more black in it than gray. This is a nice red sparkle. Oh, it's pretty. And it just flows. It just flows right out. Now, like I said before, I have not used any of these pens before. And so I didn't get them primed before the video. So the way they're coming out of the package is the way they're going on the paper. And I didn't need to scribble anything or anything like that. And that's got quite a bit of sparkle in it. It's really pretty. I will see if I can get the camera to pick that up for you. And then we've got a sparkle orange. And every once in a while with the sparkly ones, even though it feels really smooth, you get this little grit sensation on the page. And that's just the glitter. If you want sparkly, you're going to have a little tiny bit of grit for that glitter. And it's always to be expected. Because as you know, when you have little particles and things coming out of a very small space, sometimes they get clogged up or rubbed the wrong way. This is a nice yellow. That previous one was a really pretty orange. This is a nice medium yellow. It's not a bright yellow. It's a nice medium yellow. In between orange and yellow. Okay. And we're into the home stretch here. Now this is a green. It looks like it's going to be a really bright green, but you can't tell that until it gets on the paper. And it is a darker green, but it's not too dark. It's not like a forest green. It's more like a leaf green. Lots of sparkle in that. Those are going to look so pretty on Christmas colorings. Nice bright green, bright red. And this one is going to be a bit darker. Again, these are all sparkles from here down. These are metallics from here and up, and those ones are pastels and fluorescents. Okay, so this one is actually lighter than the one before. It's funny because the lids look like it would be darker. I think they mixed up the lids on it because this lid is darker than that lid. This is more of a grass green. And now we're into the blues. And I know I'm not putting these all back nice and neat and tidy. I will after. Actually, I'll probably put them in my bag with all my gel pens. because this little book will fit in the pocket. Beautiful blue. Wonderful, wonderful blue. Lots of sparkle in it. There we go. And another really pretty blue. This is almost a sea ocean type blue. Great glitter level in it. And it started out pretty good right from the start. Didn't have a lot of priming to do to it. I didn't have to bash it on the table, so. All right. And once we're done this, we'll go back and we'll look at that white line I did on the purple, pinky purple color. Magenta, I think it's called. You'd think I'd know my colors by now. You'd think I would have at least every one of them memorized on what color that is. I can pick it out of a lineup, but I can't tell you its name. All right, and that's a really lovely purpley blue, almost a really dark blue. And this is purple, and it is a dark purple. And it just started off right out of the package, right out the gate there. And this one has really nice flow. Oh, we're down to the last two. We had just enough to actually do this whole day of swatching, which is cool. This is a brownie red color. It looks like on the lid, like it's a, yeah, I guess it's a red, brown, a bronze color. That's it. Oh, went a little too far there. And this is going to be a darker color. More like a sparkly chocolate, sparkly coffee, that's it. Yeah, it's more of a coffee color. You know, when you look at a black cup of coffee, you see that little bit of oil on the top. That's the effect that this pen seems to be having. It's either that or else I really want another cup of coffee, which is possible. Okay, so that's the Cali Art gel pens. It's 32 gel pens. They have a little rubber nib here. They are really nice pens. They flow immediately out of the package. They've got a little stopper inside the lid so that it, leakage doesn't pour out everywhere. Really nice set of pens. Comes in the sparkles. Let's see if I can get it to show you some of the sparkle. Let's turn the light on. There, that's better. So it's got the sparkles, and it's got a really good amount of sparkle in those. And then we've got the metallics here, which are these four, which are metallic. And then we've got the pastels, and then the fluorescents, and a couple of just regular colors there. And I think they did pretty good. I don't know if you can see those fluorescents very well, how bright they are, but those sparkles just glitter. They just glisten. There is so much sparkle in those. So pretty. Absolutely gorgeous. So today what we've covered, and let's see if I can get the metallic in those ones to show now that they're dry. Still not showing too well. But you can see that they've got a nice metallic shine on them, on these ones up here. So we've got the zebra metallics, the Tombow pastel, and then the zebra mild color. And then we've got our Cali Art gel pens. And all of them performed really nicely. I'm really quite surprised with how quickly the gel pen started to flow. I didn't have to muck with it too much. Now on this pink, or well, on this magenta here, I put a line of the white. And you can still see the line of the white even after it's dry, which is really good because sometimes when you go over a color with a white, it will pick up the color that you go over. What happened here? I didn't go into the purple too hard the first time I went over because it was still wet. So I went over it again while it's dry, and it just stands right out, which is really good. Okay, so those are the gel pens and the water-based markers that I picked up while I was on my shopping spree and buying pencils. And those are fantastic. Absolutely love them. And I will probably be doing a little bit more in this book with those because those pictures are nice and small. Another thing that I picked up, which is 100% my husband's fault, is this set of, and they have no name on them. They're very generic, very basic. They don't have an odor when you open the bag, but it's 60 markers. They look very much like the Touch New marker barrel. It just says Twin Art Sketch Marker. So maybe they're called Twin Art. Yeah, I think they're called Twin Art. They didn't come with any information or anything. It was just 60 pieces in a bag. They seem to have a lot of really good colors. They've got some cool grays, some warm grays, black, of course, Prussian blue, another warm gray. So this is warm gray 3, warm gray 6, cool gray 3, cool gray 9, warm gray 9, blue gray. So they've got some really good colors in here. They are a bullet nib pen. They are not a brush pen at all. They don't have an odor. A little tiny bit of alcohol smell, but not overpowering. And I had to literally put it almost right up to my nose to smell it. So they've got numbers on the ends of what color it is, as well as the name. And I don't think they do anywhere else on the barrel, just on the ends of the pens. Both ends have the same color and number. And we're giving these away today. So whoever watches this video all the way to the end and sends me a note in the comments below letting me know what you think of the glitter level in the Cali Art gel pens is like, I will gather up all those people that do that, and do a random drawing. I will message the person that wins as well as announce it on my next video. And I will get your information from you after I announce it. So anyone that watches all the way to the end of this video will win if they put in what they think of the Cali Art glitter level of the Cali Art pens in the comments below. I will package these 60 wonderful markers up, and I will choose a number, and I will let everyone know what number they are and which one won, and get your information. So with that, I wish you all a lot of luck. I don't want these markers. I want to give them away, and that's why I bought them, was to add to our hooked people, and of course Donna can show each and every one of you how to use those markers in the best way possible, and it's always fun to have a really good set of markers available. I colored a little bit with them. They don't seem to be overly dry. If you want, I can go over just a couple of little swatches just to show you some of the colors. Let's take some of the basic colors. A nice lemon yellow. That's a color that a lot of people use. And of course, like I said, these are alcohol markers, so you have to be careful about them going through the page. So I've got my fingers behind it just so it doesn't color through onto the page that is behind it there. So they cover quite nice. They are very juicy. They don't bleed horribly, just a little bit there where I went over the line. And another one that a lot of people will use is the pale purple. So it does bleed through, just so you know. They are alcohol markers, so they will bleed through the paper. Make sure that you have something behind it. Now, the reason why the paper is making that noise is because my fingers are behind it. It is not on a flat surface, so there's a bit of an echo coming from behind it. That is a very pretty pink color. And of course, because my fingers are behind it, I went over the lines. So there is a little bit of bleed, but it's not bad at all. I have seen a whole lot worse. And that is also a very pretty color. Matches quite closely to the lid, which is great too. Just like the lemon yellow matches very closely to the lid. Okay, and with that, good luck, everybody. I can't wait to read all your comments and find out what everybody thinks about the glitter in the Cali Art gel pens. Again, like I said, I will go through all of the comments. I will give it a week. So next Monday, I will gather up all the comments, give each of you a number, and do a random drawing. It will be completely random. I will not be picking and choosing. And it will be only those people that have watched all the way to the end and actually get this message of what they need to put in the comments. So what you need to put in the comments, once again, is how glittery you feel the Cali Art gel pens are. With that, thank you so much for visiting me. If you want to join us on our Facebook group, which is the Cozy Coloring Corner at Coloritaville, please do make sure that you fill out that application form in full, because we will not accept it if it is not. The reason for this is to protect our members from scammers and spam.